because when I was advertising, I just assumed people knew what it was. So I just have to tell them why we're different from other period underwear. But now I realize I've got to educate women about what it is. So definitely that's something that completely shocked me. Had I known this, I would have approached my business and all my advertising a lot differently. So talking to women in person, anyone listens to this, get out from behind the screen and talk to people, because you think that they know your products. You think that they know what you're selling and they don't know. So that was definitely a big shock.
Welcome to Kindred Spirits, the podcast that brings you unfiltered conversations about life, work, and everything in between.
Join us as we share stories, spark connections, and celebrate the magic that happens when kindred spirits unite.
Welcome, Sandra. How are you?
Hello, Maddy and Melissa. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming on.
I'm so excited to speak to you gals today.
I'm so excited too. When we were looking, you've been so successful and the founder of, everything you've done especially for the, females and what your apparel does. And also you've met Shakira. So that's also kind of cool.
She is awesome. She's really awesome.
So let's kind of get started. Can you just tell us about Justine Haines?
Yeah. So Justine Haines is a baby. She was born during COVID. So if we go back a little bit, I had a professional career, corporate career. I studied fashion, business. I had jobs relating to fashion in pretty much everything from management, merchandising. And then I went on to do more PR. And yes, as you mentioned, I worked with Shakira, did philanthropy. So I had an amazing career. I was 18 years at my last job. I thought I was going to retire there. I was living the life, events, traveling, cutting ribbons, red carpet, really fun, really great. I really was thankful for everything I had. And then my calendar during COVID went from completely full trips. Everything was full and it went to nothing. And so like everyone, we had a time to reflect. And I started to reflect not only on my career and what I wanted to do next, now that I can't go out. I was supposed to do actually ribbon cutting with Shakira in Colombia. We had been working for this and planning this and fashion events and galas and fundraising. So now what do I do? What do I prepare to do for the next part of my career? And I taught marketing and I worked in a fashion school, and I saw so many people start off with an idea, like a little bit on like Shark Tank or Dragons, and you have an idea and you work hard and you bring it to life. And I had this idea of starting a business, and what was it going to be? I wasn't sure, but after discussing, we started talking about periods. Me and my nieces were really close. I don't have any girls. I have a boy, but I have 6 nieces. So we started talking about periods, and they were telling me about period shaming at school. And, the fashion girl inside of me just like saw light bulbs everywhere. And I had heard about period underwear. And from what I could see, there was no fashion period underwear. And because of the pandemic, we were all, as a people, we were all more open to sustainability and trying out new things because we were home. And I saw, okay, this is it. This is the time. And I told my husband that day, I'm not going back to work. I've got this idea and I'm going to see this through. Like, this is how I'm going to finish off the last chapter of my great career that I've had. And this is how Justine Haines was born. And the name, if you're wondering, is not my name. So the 2 loves of my life, the 2 great loves of my life are my son, Justin, and my husband, Haines, with an I. And so I put them together and I thought, wow, I could really imagine this name brand on an underwear, and Haines with an I, it would be different. And Justine could be like a young, fashionable girl next door who's your BFF. And that's how Justine Haines was born. When I saw the .com was free and the business registry and the website, I thought, let me buy it. I'm going to do something with this one of these days, and let me just buy this today. And it wouldn't be until almost a year later that the full project would come to life. But I just had a feeling in my gut.
Yeah, that's it's just the stars seem to be aligned. It just kind of we always say like just kind of follow, just keep kind of falling on each shoulder, like keep going back, up and forth, and it always comes back around, right?
Yes, totally.
That's
So
such a
this is
great
how,
name too. Sounds like a
thank you so
celebrity.
much. Thank you so much. And,
Right?
all the years of marketing and, me working in marketing jobs, but also a job that I held for a long time. I was the marketing director for a fashion program in a college. So this is how I got to do a lot of, philanthropy and being involved in fashion events. So I had like the whole the whole root of a business and creating, kind of an avatar. I'm sure you've talked about this to your previous guest, creating the person who you will be selling to and what does she look like and what's her name and what is she like. So for me, when I created this avatar, this person called Justine, I did everything centered around her. So what colors would she like? What kind of waistband would she like? Even my font on the waistband and on the website, it's typewriter because Justine, she's 25 to 30 and she thinks that typewriters are cool because her grandfather maybe had one as a decoration in their house. And she's the type that would find one at a garage sale and put it in her apartment as decoration because it's vintage and it's cool. So all those little details I implemented in my business, they were all relating to Justine and what Justine likes and would Justine wear this and would Justine find this cool. So yeah, I kind of based everything off of this fictional avatar called Justine Haines.
Wow. That is so detailed. You can really tell that you have that marketing background. And I'm sure that's such a
Thank you.
huge asset to starting the brand and turning it into a successful business. Now, I want to dive in a little bit on more about Justine as, the woman that you've been telling us about. So what is the narrative around periods that audience has? And so what does your product kind of do to change that narrative or enhance the experience of periods for women?
So, as we know, it's a $50 billion industry. It's a huge industry. It's a wasteful industry. And it hasn't evolved that much in the last, 100 years. It has not evolved that much. It's just now starting to evolve. So, period underwear came about 10 years ago. And we still are finding ourselves having to do a lot of education when it comes to sustainability and periods, but sometimes just talking about periods, just the subject of it makes people uncomfortable. It makes men uncomfortable. Men shop for their daughters or their wives, or it's just like no one wants to talk about it, but 50% of the planet has one. And so as we are able to talk about it more, we can have discussions about what women want, what women need, what they like and what they don't like. And what we're finding that they like is something that makes you feel that it's a regular day. It's a regular day. It's not a day where I'm going to feel unsexy, when I'm going to feel uncute, when I'm going to feel, you know, not clean. So these products, we designed them to make women feel almost like you're excited to have your period because you get to look so cute and so fashionable and not be bulky and not have odor and not have all these things that make us uncomfortable.
Mhm. And I think that's so important because you're so right about how it's such a weird topic, and it's funny. You're right. All like so many people have it, and it's just such a shush. Like we just don't speak about it, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of times too, like I know a lot in Europe, women's products or people's products, sorry, excuse me, are free. It's a because it's a natural way of being, right? So I'm curious. You mentioned a couple of times you do response to conversations, but like in the market alone, can you kind of target a little bit on some of the things you've witnessed that were kind of unexpected, positive, like unexpected that came from when you launched Justine? And that you were like, I was not expecting that kind of response from
Well,
this.
definitely, I see this more when I do pop-ups. So, like, for example, the women's show, it's a
Mhm.
national huge event. And so you get to speak literally to thousands of people in a few days. And so when I started doing these shows and speaking to a big mass of women in a short amount of time, I noticed that a lot of women did not know what period underwear was. They had no idea. And I thought because it's an event where you have to pay to get in, it's a certain type of class. I mean, women come there with a big disposable income to spend. It's not a flea market, right? There's a lot of higher end brands there. So they come with a certain education. So the fact that almost 80% of the women I spoke to didn't know what period underwear was, it shocked me. And I had to like reevaluate my whole business proposition and my website and educating and investing in educating. Because when I was advertising, I just assumed people knew what it was. So I just have to tell them why we're different from other period underwear. But now I realize I've got to educate women about what it is. So definitely that's something that completely shocked me. Had I known this, I would have approached my business and all my advertising a lot differently. So talking to women in person, that's talking to your client in person. If anyone listens to this, get out from behind the screen and talk to people because you think that they know your products. You think that they know what you're selling and they don't know. So that was definitely a big shock. But other than that, I mean, the response to the brand was really, really positive. I would say like the only shockers that I get are more relating to the blogs and the platforms where I answer period questions. That's where the huge miseducation is, like just periods and women's health in general. I fall off my chair. If you want to have a few minutes of fun, you can go and visit my platform on Quora. It's called Everything Periods. I started answering questions on that platform once a week because I literally Googled, how can I get free organic traffic? And the person said, write blogs and link them to Quora and you can get free organic traffic that way. So I thought, okay, I love to write. Let me write blogs. Perfect. So I started answering questions and linking my blogs. And as of now, it's reached 1 million like a few months ago. So you can have some fun and look at the questions that women ask me, young girls ask me. Sometimes you could tell they're using a father's account from the name of the account. And there's a lot of period and women's health miseducation that would completely knock you off your seat. I mean, with with the platforms we have today to go where you can get all the information and legit information, girls still don't understand how to get pregnant. I mean, the types of questions they want to know how to end their periods because they have a pool party.
Mm.
They want to know how they
Mhm.
can start their period faster because all their friends have it. It's a pleasure for me to take the time to answer these questions, but at the same time, it's really shocking to me that these women from all over the world are really just that uneducated. It's
Mhm.
kind of sad or scary. Yeah.
Wow. What I'm starting to see here is this is so much bigger than just a brand or a product. You're really providing such necessary education to the world, which is amazing.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you've been able to create a sense of community from all of that traffic that's coming to your website and all the free education that you provide? Have you seen a community fostering around the brand at all?
Yeah, well, because I started the blogs as a means to get traffic, and the topic is women's health and periods and PCOS and menopause and things that are so important and personal to women. So I have no choice but become personal with them. And even when I do pop-ups, we talk about these things and they tell me about heavy periods and hemorrhaging and they tell me about things that are really, really personal. So definitely the barrier is broken because it, I'm not selling white socks, I'm selling a very personal product, something that's going to make their feminine hygiene, the periods healthier and better, and them feel more feminine. So definitely the barrier is broken. I've created a community. I'm so proud. Like my Quora community, it's definitely something that it was an accident. but it brings me a lot of joy when, members upvote. It's a little bit like Reddit. You can
Mm.
upvote. That means that they read it. That means that they agree, or that means that I was able to help how many hundred people that day. So that's definitely it's a I would say like it's a bonus of the job, definitely. And also when I get an email saying I can't wait, or not even an email, if they write on social media, that's the best. I can't wait for my period so I could wear it, or they'll say like I'm looking forward to my period. I feel like wow, this is exactly why started this company. I wanted women to, instead of on the calendar putting X's of when the periods are, they put circles because they can't wait. They
Yeah.
circle their calendar because, and now I have period active wear that's coming out. So imagine, like yoga and running and doing all your activities without underwear or tampons or pads, and like and being just so excited, like, oh, on the weekend I'm going for a run and I'm looking forward to it, even though I have my period. So it's really exciting.
I love that. And I think that, to speak on Maddie's question to your response to building that community, because there's so much information out there and it can be super
Hmm.
intimidating. And I know you mentioned, I'm super open on on the podcast. This is why we love this, is that, as someone also who got diagnosed with PCOS like 15 years ago,
Really?
no one knew what it was. And you would go on
Yeah.
the internet and it would just be blown away. And it was not a safe topic, and it's still not really it's a safe topic, but there's so much information, right? So that sense of community where you're like, hey, like, don't worry, like it's such a build such character for people, and even people, all walks of life right now, right? So I love that you're expanding not only just a community, but you're making like a safe, vulnerable place for people to just ask
Oh,
the questions
thanks.
that can have a response that's from like a real person, not an AI robot, which AI, no offense, AI, but you know, we're
It's
all
not a human,
emotional.
but even with AI, you would think that they would have Googled, like, can I get pregnant from fooling around, jeans to jeans with my boyfriend? I mean, an AI can tell you the right answer, but it's still the little girl, the little boy, and I say little
Yeah.
girl, little boy, those teenagers, they want a human to say, listen, you can get pregnant, but let me give you some advice.
Yeah.
And then I'm not just I'm gonna give you advice. If you're
Yeah.
asking me for advice, I'm gonna give you advice about just, sexual education in general and sexual health. And, if you're old enough to fool around, so definitely I'll come with a little bit of, I'm an anti-six. So definitely if you're going to ask me questions and I see that I could maybe help you from a potential danger, main one being education.
Totally.
I will throw that in there.
Mhm. Well, and also that's a very, the entrepreneur life is open, like a pretty much open journey, right? Seems like you are very grounded, but have like a journey of trying to help. Can you share though, like, you seem, as you mentioned, you have a community building, you have a new brand coming out, but like, can you share a significant challenge that you've maybe faced in bringing Justine Haines to where it is kind of right
Yeah,
now?
sure. I mean, I spent like over 25 years in the corporate world where I was an entrepreneur. So I had a lot of flexibility. I had big budgets and I was able to take risk, but it was never risk with my budget and my money. It's just maybe my team or so when you start off on your own, there's a lot of questions and you're all alone and you're using your money and your assets and your ass on the line. So definitely, like, thank God for my husband. He always like tells me to look ahead and look at the big picture and be positive. Because there's days like I remember when I first started, I was like, okay, here's a list of everything I need to hire for or learn how to do. And it was so big. And when you're used to having, an assistant do all your Excel spreadsheets and things like that, and then you have to really just learn ecom from the ground up. There's a lot of times where you feel really scared and alone and staring at a screen. So definitely, I'm not gonna lie, those are hard. Those are hard times. And if you any entrepreneur you speak to that has just started, and let's say a steady or corporate job to go off on their own as an entrepreneur, it could be really scary. But
Feel
with a
that.
good team and like
Yeah.
my Haynes, my husband's amazing. Truly, like I I'm not even sure if I would have done it if it wasn't for him because he never lets me have a bad day. Like he's really amazing. Truly.
Mm. You need
Yeah.
that person that's your biggest cheerleader, even when you're not feeling good about yourself.
Yeah, because when you work for someone, you have, every year you have, depending on the job, but for me, I had an evaluation and a bonus, and I always did great. Like I was just go getter. So I always like climbed and I always did great. And so I get that tap on the back, and then I get to see all my hard work come, like projects come to life. So it's so rewarding. So when you work for yourself, you're giving yourself your own rewards. So that's definitely the challenging part. But now that I think I've passed over the hump and I'm already on my way to my second collection. So I think like those lows are behind me. And so anyone listening, if you're out there listening and you're wondering if you made the right decision, please, it's just like running a marathon. Like just get over that hump and you'll see it's going to be downhill after that. Just got to get over that hump.
And you're here to tell the story of it.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I love that. We always hear that, hey, Maddie, with entrepreneurs, like just keep going, keep driving.
Hmm. I'm really curious, Sandra, because the nature of your product, it strikes me as the type of thing where, because there's so many people that don't know about this type of product, that when somebody finds it and uses it and loves it, they become like a hype woman for it. Do you find that you have a lot of referral based business where people just get so excited about it that they want to tell everybody about this product and share it with their friends? Is that the case? Does that happen with Justine Haines?
Yeah, well, I only launched like in March this collection. Like my own collection took almost 2 years to end up in my on my store. So, and already, what is it, 8 months? I already have 5% return rate, and from that, half of them have come as much as 4 times. So it's starting to happen, and definitely, like social media has grown fairly fast and fairly organically, and so I don't have 1 million people out there saying that you got to try this, you got to try this. But the people that I do have that are saying it, they're really like devoted to the brand. And so I could see those people multiplying. And one thing that I have uh, that I took with me to this journey, to this business, is exceptional customer service. And so people can't believe that I'm a small business because I guarantee 100% money back. I'll pay for shipping. If you don't love it and you don't even have to return it, I'll ship it to you for free. And so that's how sure of the brand I am. And so when people have an issue with size or whatever, I'll call them, I'll talk about it with them, I'll send them a free product. And so that's something that I think if I keep this up and good quality product, the ultra fans, they will multiply. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
Mm.
have to say, I feel like I'm kind of jumping back a couple of questions. I had no idea there was period underwear before.
I'm
So
so glad that you're saying that because it's it was a wake up call for me the first time I did a big pop up, and I would ask women, it's period underwear, and say you put your pad in there, put it in and out, and I go, no, 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 you wear with nothing else, and like really, so I'm glad to hear you say that because if I didn't work in the fashion industry, I don't even know if I would know what it was. I overheard this at a business, like a fashion business event. But yeah, we sometimes think that people know, you write your business plan out and you're like, oh, they're gonna come for this brand new product like mine's gonna be great. And then they don't even know what it is. So now what I do is I take one and I cut the lining. And so when I do a pop-up shop, women walk by, I ask them if they know period underwear. They say no. Then I open it up and I show them the 4 layers and what each of them does and how I demonstrate how the liquid gets trapped inside. Then you wash it, how it dries. So now they can actually touch it and feel it from the inside.
Fantastic. Wow.
So will you guys try it? I'll send you guys some and you can tell me how if it helped your period be better, the same, or worse. You could tell me how you like
Bring
your
it
period
on.
with
We
Justine
would
Haines. Yeah.
love to.
I
And the
support this. Trust me. And I love the yoga thing because I teach yoga too. And I know a lot of the girls and guys and people, sorry. But absolutely. We would love to try it out. Again.
And
Absolutely.
if you watch Dragon's Den, just this year, there was like so many female products. There was like a tampon that you kind of put in this thing to lube it up. And then there was a female condom. There's like all these female, and these are on national TV, on primetime, being talked about. So it's time, guys. Like, let's get on it's a regular thing everyone has. It's a period.
Yes, it's time. It's late, actually.
Yes.
Beyond time for this to be mainstream.
And also, I want to show off my province of Quebec because, maybe by the time this airs, there will be some more advancement. But I'm in Quebec and so proud to say that so many municipalities in Quebec, they offer a grant, like a $300 grant on your income tax for reusable period products, reusable like diapers. So this is an initiative that's not only amazing for our industry, but it's amazing for sustainability. It's amazing for women's health. And maybe eventually the whole country is going to be on board with this because, it's like smart cars. You're helping the planet, but you're helping your body and everybody wins.
That's so amazing. I wonder if they do that out here in BC. I have to look into that.
Yeah, if you do, like maybe you could put a link when you just to let people know like which provinces, or they can let us know. Because definitely, when I found out Quebec had this, I was like, oh, this is so incredible for women to put this on their income tax.
So, Sarah, we are a couple more questions. I always get Maddy to say the last question because I think her voice is elegant. But before I make her say it, where can everyone connect with you? I know we're gonna market the
Sure.
podcast, and we're gonna give all the links. Which one's the best?
So, it depends. I'm literally on every platform, on 9 of them to be. So I won't list them all. I'm on nine different social platforms. So you can just go on JustineHaines.com. So Haines with an I, JustineHaines.com. You'll find us on every single social platform. Pick your favorite, even LinkedIn. We're there. The Cora is everything periods. And the blogs, definitely like read the blogs. If they can help you, then that's great. I feel so great that I helped women. If you have a topic that's not covered on my blogs, write me a message and I'll research it and I'll write a blog just about that topic to give you the information. It's something I really enjoy doing. So find us just about everywhere.
Perfect. We'll get all that linked in the show notes. And one last question to see you out here. So our podcast, as you know, is called Kindred Spirits. And we were inspired by a quote, which says, to discover a kindred spirit is to find your heart in the heart of a friend. So we wanted to ask you, Sandra, how do you know when you've found a kindred spirit?
I think it's the guts, like the butterflies. Like if I think of when I met my husband, it's just like it's something in your butterflies in your stomach, and it's a physiological feeling. Even like sometimes you meet a girlfriend for the first time, and you have a coffee with her, and you just feel so great because it should feel amazing. It should feel great. It should give you tingles. So for me, it's always my gut. My gut tells my brain this is a good thing. Pursue it.
Yes, I love that. The gut, the intuition, all about that.
Oh, perfect. Well, Sandra, we can't thank you enough for coming on. You've been such a pleasure, and I've absolutely had so much fun this podcast.
I had so much fun to see you guys. Make sure to write me what your favorite undies are, and stay tuned for the active wear so you can do yoga or any other sport. So that's coming up for spring 2024. And it was really a pleasure to talk to you guys. Keep up the amazing work. I love it.
Thanks,
Thank
Sandra.
you so much.